first part of the dynamic focus structure is the contract. The contract is the promise that you make to your audience that you are not going to waste their time. And in order for them to know that, just a few seconds into the presentation, you need to tell them what you're going to talk about. This may sound complicated at first, perhaps because the topic is really complicated, but it does not have to be. Let's say I'm talking about something as humongous as a stadium. This is a $2 billion project that's going to take years to do. I need to start off the conversation with something simple that everyone can understand and get on board with. So for a new stadium project, I might say something like, today I'm going to talk about an opportunity we have to bring millions, if not billions of dollars of revenue to this city, to make this city a focal point to millions of fans all over the world, and to create a piece of architecture that can stand at the pinnacle of stadium design. I said a lot within those 3 points. I talked about how the economics of the city are going to benefit. I talked about how the culture of the city might benefit. And I talked about the personal pride we're all going to get from creating this amazing looking stadium that does all these great things for the city. I didn't have to say how many seats there were going to be or how many parking lot spaces there's going to be. Those are details I may not know yet. But what I'm trying to do is get the person on the other side to be like, wow, I want all of those things he just talked about. I'm going to listen to his presentation because if he explains how to achieve those, I'm on board. Obviously, this is a huge and grand example, but it can be applied to much simpler things. Let's say I just want to install a piece of community art in my local park and I'm presenting to the local city council. I might say something like, today I'm going to be talking about something that can help unify our community in these difficult times. Something that can add beauty to our already beautiful city, and something that can serve as a sort of time capsule for our community. Just within those 3 points, I didn't even talk about art. I didn't mention whether it was a mural or a sculpture or something else. But the point is, I presented the 3 most important things. I presented the fact that it would add to the community, it would add to the legacy, and it would enhance the place where we live. Those are something that people in the city council really want to hear about, and that's what's important to them. It's not necessarily important to them whether it's a mural or a sculpture. Let's say I'm a hiring manager and I have a team full of new recruits and I have to speak to them about what it means to work at this company. Maybe I could start off with what the hours are going to be, where they might sit. What they want to know is whether this is going to be a positive work environment, whether this is going to help them move their career forward, and whether they're going to make friends even with their fellow coworkers. That's what they're wondering. That's what they're nervous about. I might say something like, welcome, I'm glad you could all be here at ABC Design on your first day. Today, I'm going to tell you 3 stories. That's it. 1, about why I love working here. 2, about why I love our clients and working with them. And 3, why after 20 years in the industry, I'm still here. Each of those points help to address one of the concerns that a new hire might have on their nervous first day. I made the contract that I'm going to tell these stories. Each one is going to explain and address something that they're concerned about. If you're working on a presentation right now, I encourage you, take a few moments, write down a few sentences about what your contract is going to be when you start off your presentation. One question that people always have is, what if I don't cover something that somebody in the audience was wondering about? This is where having a Q&A session is gold. By design, you're never going to cover all the micro questions that every single little person in the audience has. That's okay. This is exactly the purpose of a Q&A. If you have the ability to include a Q&A in your presentation, absolutely do it. In fact, if you can do it, make it part of the contract. Cover the 3 points, and at the end of that sentence, say something like, "If you have any questions, you're welcome to join me for a Q&A after the presentation." This is a wonderful way to end the contract because it gives the person in the audience a little bit of extra assurance that just in case their question wasn't answered, they will be able to bring it up and have you address it.